Welcome to Present Moment Conversations with Abraham Berhanu and friends coming in. And at today's show, I have some notes that I wrote that I wanted to go over. First, wholereflections.com is where you can find this video and many others like it. Just wanted to talk about some of the practices that I do in the house that really help keep my reality in check. And I guess the things that I like to do would be to close curtains after the sun's down, close doors, close toilet seats as much and as often as possible. Keep the bathroom and the bedroom super clear. Putting melodies at the corners of each the corner of each bed corner, and yeah, that would be one of the main things that I really love to do here. Using music as a protective frequency of your signature frequency can really not only protect your frequency but advance and express purpose expression for even further. So I also have a SoundCloud page where I do some acoustic singing, which would be Whole Reflections on SoundCloud as well, which is something that's really been ramping up for me quickly. I guess, this the healership that everyone expresses it in a different way. My adeptness, really, my talent is really there, has always been there on the musical side. But my passion is really just coaching and helping and counseling. So, yeah, and it has been in a way where, when you share a house with your family, you have people that treat the reality in such a way where it's like their residue is left, even if you're just house sitting and watching afterwards. Because I would get yelled at for just doing some of the energy cleanliness practices, something as simple as closing the blinds, and just basically around anxiety prone people for the smallest issue, even if it was for something that was actually on kilter. And so now I'm in a position where I can be that way, and I feel like Alfred Alfred from Batman. I bet Alfred from Batman probably has the best, organizational skills. That's probably that's what I feel like right now. Except things that just flow so much smoother from that service standpoint. It's like that quiet, humble servant that okay, I get to go on this alone, so I can really actually be efficient. I can really be efficient here. That's the interesting thing that I think a lot of us are going to experience, and with that will come hyper creation and different manifestations coming up, things that are coming up kind of quickly nowadays, like communities, initiatives, and like I was saying earlier on the show, Jake, it's manifesting quickly. Things that I've been working towards, just showing up a little quicker than I thought, because everyone else wants the same thing. And it's not to say that it's been perfect, but it's been pretty darn good. But boundaries is still something that is, once again, boundaries, right? After you do the community work, you need some time to yourself. It's so funny, as soon as I go into a community, I'm looking for the time where I'm going to have some me time pretty quickly, and everyone else is too, simultaneously. But at the same time, we've already been doing that, so it's just interesting to have that back and forth. back and forth. And I felt that really strongly recently. I would put something somewhere and it would get touched. That irritates me at my house, but when it's done somewhere else, to me that's less. It's less likely that I'm going to be there for a while after that. You know what I mean? You know, in my opinion, I didn't do anything to. I made it very clear to who I needed to make it clear to in a situation, and I had stuff touched. And that's the type of stuff that happens in a community. You know, it feels like I'm talking about like almost like a non-issue or like bitching a little bit, but it's the reality of a community, and that's the thing that I guess everybody sucks it up. All the nuns and all the monks, all those people, they just suck it up. They take that until they learn how to be more of a cohesive unit, which I respect. Um, so I took a long walk after I already had a pretty successful day. Um, I wrote out a few goals on a piece of paper, and luckily I remembered them at the right time because sometimes the events throughout my day can, yeah, like a dizziness. I can feel kind of dizzy trying to remember that the goal that would make my day great while I'm doing just the goals that keeps me that are just the necessities. You know, going from the goals that are necessities to like the goals that make your day great. It's actually pretty easy when you put your mind to it. It's not. It should be seamless, but there was a seam there, and I actually found it, and forgot it, found it again. You know, forgot it, found it again. I write the goal, forget it, find it again. Because if you write that goal early in the morning, the rest of your day is pretty much going to follow that similar tone. And even if I got completely lost and forgot my plans, I did just enough so that there's like there's already an automatic, just basically an automatic rerouting and redirection. And so on this long walk, I was just thinking about I was just thinking about the forced evolutionary institutions that I was inside of a sacred geometry city. Like on a walk, it's just like it's pure flow for me. This is probably one of the more wooded areas of the city, so this was really a great walk, and it was done after what would seem like a lot of dancing and a lot of partying. But for me, I know when I need a certain layer of uh, just touching trees and a certain layer of just being on my feet and walking at my own pace, especially working with flat-footedness, alignment. So these are things that I have to do on my own most of the time, which is pretty pleasant, honestly. I would say that remembering some of it helps me to apply and remember some of the information pieces that I'm taking in, and it's been freaking amazing. I mean, I was just finding all of these programs, and sometimes it can be very much an alone journey before your programs begin to reveal themselves after you do all these meditations and energy work. Um, but it does reveal itself. Definitely does reveal itself, and it's not as hard as It's hard, but it's not impossible hard. It's possible. I'm not going to say it's hard or it's easy, but it's possible. And for a long time, I thought some of those things that were deeply buried inside would be impossible to let them come up and heal them, which I have done, uh, and still doing pretty well. It's all about the subconscious holes, right? You'll know a subconscious hole. For me, I was wearing a gray shirt that I had in, believe it or not, I had it since my sophomore year in high school, and I'm 25 now. Almost 10, easily like just about 10 years. And the shirt still carried that energy. So I found myself during that walk noticing the way the shirt was working on me throughout the entire day. And not tooting my own horn, but girls seem to be very attracted to that shirt because the energy of that shirt was very yang. It was a gray with brown striped, vertical striped shirt from Colors of Benetton. And the gray energy, I went to a conference in May that talked about the gray color. And the gray energy is very good at unhinging, discombobulating, disunifying things. And I began to feel a little self-conscious about my life and relationship, in the relationship part of my life, intimacy. And so I immediately took this. I didn't immediately take it off. I just noticed it there, like it was present. And that's what I was going through in my sophomore year of high school. I was really looking for something intimate at that time, and it was not happening. And it was just like, it was borderline painful. And so I took the shirt off. I threw it in the trash right in front of the zoo in mid extremely long walk. And I had a shirt in the car that I just recently acquired. That's very special to me, and I put that on, and it's just, I know that now. Keep 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 your gear and your clothes pretty new, because you don't want to be carrying around those past experiences. I mean, I had some great experiences with it, but the way things happened, I've had some pretty intense experiences romantically with that shirt on. And that shirt and those colors and everything with that was technology. But it was technology that had me kept on lingering and thinking about the relationships that never happened. The cutest girl ever, you know. Which in and of itself is a fallacy. Just even thinking of that like that. And it was a good it was good. I shed the emotional weight. That's what I, and all wandering, just because I'm wandering through, taking long walks with my shirt off, doesn't mean I'm lost. Like the great Tolkien said, that's so true. I was not lost. I was in the zone. When I got back after doing that long walk, I segued right into a stretch for my hips, and it actually just was perfect. Segueing into a stretch after a walk is one of the best things you could do. And it really released that emotional weight. And what I wanted to talk about was how when you're trying to achieve a task, simultaneously an emotional situation is occurring, how do you do the task is still a mechanical task. You're not going to infuse so much emotion into it that it creates much of a change, because the task is still a mechanical task, and the emotional weight of that task, the emotions need to be selected and sorted appropriately. Kind of like the elves from like the way the elves fought in the Twin Towers. Like, they were just really light, that elven awareness, and they lived longer. And I believe that they somewhat represent the the hybridized human, or the deep in the ancient past human that lived for hundreds of years. And yeah, that's pretty much the show. That's pretty much the show for tonight. That's really all I had planned for in terms of speaking on that. I'm gonna see if anyone else wants to get on really quickly. But this is mostly what I wanted to do with it for tonight. Other than that, I've just been really focusing on the subconscious, working on the subconscious mind. Me and the inner child are just having great conversations. Still working with new Orgonite templates, using different techniques, intentional techniques with the Black Sun Orgonite, which I will be posting. I recently did some for an event, but Instagram and all that stuff, and no one else has seen it. So yeah, let me see if Ryan wants to get on. All right. So I just recently had my grandfather pass away, and things have been really going smoothly after that passing away, because I had already created a place for him in the astral realm. I'd already uh, given him that space in my mind, because he hasn't been able to walk or talk for a while. So, and then he passed away, I think, on the 20th or the 21st, which is like solstice prime, like the peak of the solstice, and that was really an amazing experience, And because of it, because of that passing down, I can sense that there is a passing down of energies, but it's just so interesting to see where that passing down or originated from, as opposed to seeing how I'm gonna use that energy and move forward with it. I kind of want to look at the origin so I understand what's the right thing to do with it. And that's where I've been at, like guiding the feminine and leading, as opposed to going with the flow and chiseling and just using models and different formulas and strategies. But from there, mastering those models and creating my own. Just like at the end of the feng shui journey, I think you have to create your own brand of feng shui, and that's a key element there. Ryan said he's going to get on in about 15 minutes. See what happens. Oh yeah, and I've been rolling up some sage tobacco spliffs, and it tastes so smooth. I'm gonna look it up to see if there's any products out that have sage and tobacco already rolled together. Because I just felt like I was getting cleared on the inside, and I guess. Oh yeah, so there is herbal. Yeah, sweet grass and all of that stuff is already used for that. Anti-infection, sage. Yeah, of course. Yeah, I was at a drum circle yesterday, and somebody saged me out, and it was just a great time. If you have a drum circle in your local area that's been going on for some time, for sure, check it out. Just any place where they just let you be free and dance, and you notice there's a lot of people with long hair, and but still like they own their boundaries. That's heaven right there. I've been doing this. It's been pretty funny. I've been going on Facebook and posting posts where that option where it says "only me" on it. I just been doing a lot like that with just the "only me" option, and I think it's just kind of hilarious because if it's only you, but it's only you and who else, and it's just so funny when you just see that you have that's even an option. It would just be so funny if everyone on Facebook literally did the "only me" option only. Yeah. Oh yes. Yesterday, as I was walking, I was seeing how to really have a complete cycle of energy that's grounded and balanced out. Cool. Yeah. So Scott's getting on. This is like the random accidental lighting that's actually happening here. So let's see. Yeah. Sage Ret. Yeah, but Scott's supposed to be getting on in a little bit. Thank you, Streetlight, for that lighting. It looks pretty multidimensional right now. I feel as though I'm able to survey from this angle, but this angle has already been surveyed simultaneously. I feel like I've done a pretty good job in aiming to claim it. The boundaries are well enforced, and it's only allowing what I let in, you know? Cool. Cool. She wants to go back in. That's why. She's not out right now. Cool. So people are still joining in. One of the longest days of the year, though. I mean, my goodness. It's about 9, almost. Yeah, it's 9. And it looks like this. There's still. It looks like this at 9 o'clock. Like, this is pretty album cover. Album cover level stuff right now. clouds look super silver. Yeah, for some reason when you add that sage to the... Oh, let me just send him a message. Do this. It simultaneous to the link. Should work out. Join in, man. Hey, Scott.
Anybody home?
Yeah. Wow, it's still bright over there, huh?
A little
Still
bit.
a little bright.
Yeah.
Still kind of bright. Yeah. You got the street lights here. It's like this. This is like exact sunset, like 9 p.m. on the longest days of the year, huh?
Right.
Yeah, bro. It's beautiful. How was your solstice?
It was good. We had a little ceremony, I guess you call it, up at
Right.
CST Beach.
Oh yeah. That's awesome, man.
Had a real good connection, a real good meditation.
Sweet, man. Yeah, that's cool. Where are you now?
I'm at work.
Oh, cool. Awesome. Yeah, Ryan's about to get on in a few seconds. I just sent him the link, and I just sent him an invite.
So what you talking about tonight? I can't say. I got about 10 minutes.
I was talking. Oh, great. Yeah, I was talking about just how, like, around the house, what I do around the house to keep the portals closed. And I was just talking about like closing the bathroom doors and the toilet lids, and how I feel like I'm Alfred from the Batman series, but like now I'm in a position where I have like more responsibility to like close the curtains and actually do everything when I was around people that that would have anxiety attacks when I would tidy up in certain ways. And I was also talking about just in general what the way my experiences have been like taking long walks. So taking really long walks helps me process the ideas that I'm working through. And I was talking about just going into different layers of time that need to be healed and worked on. And I was specifically talking about like my sophomore year in high school, and I still had a shirt that I was wearing from that time, and I remembered that shirt from that time because I had like some legendary moments in it, and I realized that getting rid of that shirt allowed for something fresh to come in, and these little practices that I practice, just discarding the old and allowing the new to come in has been really like refreshing. That was some of what I was talking about. I have some more in the show notes, and yeah, there was kind of a pause in between then and now, and it was just it's just great that we have this platform to just speak what was going on, what has been going on. I mean, I've been people have been much more social in my area, and I was at an art show for Solstice. I was basically at this art community, like a real community was being formed, and it had to do with the climate change. And I was telling them about Organite. And are you familiar with Organite, Scott?
Yeah, I have some.
Yeah, and it's just like that's a big part of climate change, but it seemed like nobody wanted to hear it at a place that is foundationally based on at climate change. And it's just like it was like it was climate change activism, and it kind of rubbed me in a certain way where I don't know why they're not looking at Organite or like focusing on investing into that material for that. It seems like it seems like it was just an activist for the sake of being activist at that point. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
Like,
caught that right away.
yeah, climate change as like as a solvable problem. Okay, but I guess we have we have certain things in place where I noticed that I brought like some new Organite that I freshly made to the space, and I brought a little information sheet, and it kind of hit me right then that while I was printing and working on this information sheet, that people would have to want to hear me explain it to them mouth to mouth, and then a deeper insight came to me. It was just like if I really have to go, it depends on how far you have to explain something before you realize, hey man, that's not what they're supposed to be into at this time, and that's fine for their journey. You know, it's being able to feel it and then acknowledge it. But yeah, I'll just be explaining this to people, and some people would just kind of like. It seems like I'm either A, talking to a wall, or B, that's just not what they're supposed to be doing in this journey.
There's something else along that line too.
Yeah.
This lady, her name was Little Grandmother, and she was supposed to get all the rainbow tribes together in in the earth. And one of her things was is crystals, and taking your crystals and putting love in them, right? And so she asked everybody from around the world to send her these because she was going to Fukushima, right?
Yeah.
And so they had like, whatever, 1,200 crystals. And so she just reached in there randomly and put one of them in the water, and it dispersed the radioactivity. She said it wasn't one that I charged or this one or that one or all of it. She goes, it was just a random one that somebody had sent in for us to take it there. And just setting it in the water, they was able to read where it had just dispersed, like got rid of the radiation. They was able to measure that. But like, who's gonna listen on those levels? Because it's like, why was that created first place? For fear, so they could feed off of that fear. The whole thing, in what you're saying, who's really gonna listen?
Just us, man. It's really just us. It's really just we have the power to make that change on the grand scale. And
Well, it's the programming, right?
yeah, and I was talking about that as we go through these emotional solstices and the letting downs and the reclaiming back up. We have that potential to do more programming, and I'm pretty opportunistic. Sometimes it's not a time to be opportunistic. Sometimes it can just be a time of allowance, and because it's just that deep, and that's just the amazing.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, man, welcome. It's kind of dark here. I'm gonna turn on the light for a second.
What's up, Scott?
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. Are you working right now?
I am. I can
Oh,
only
yeah.
pop in for a few minutes.
Well, it's good to see you, man. It's been a while.
Good to see you. No,
Is that better?
oh, you been busy?
Yeah, pretty pretty much doing different things, just studying different, just doing different things.
I said everybody. I told everyone that Ryan's going to be in application mode of all the wisdom that we're disseminating, and yeah,
Yeah,
and I was
true.
just like, there's going to be a time when we're all going to be in application mode. Scott's in application mode too right now. You know,
Oh
and
yeah, I programmed some crystals and put them in the water, and that's what I do.
Nice.
yeah, and I was just talking about solstice and how I was at a basically a climate change community, kind of like a community that was made with a climate change grant, and it's called like the Art Tap House. It's in like a nice location and everything. And Scott was telling me, you know, people create these things not to understand the solvable problem, because once the problem gets solved, it's kind of like cancer research. You
Yeah.
know,
How they're not wanting a cure.
yeah,
Yeah.
not wanting just a home run in that situation where it just, you know, things could just be resolved, things could easily be remedied, if and it doesn't even need that much like monetary or even time investment. It's just a matter of now what, you know. And like they don't want to, it's like they don't want to go to that now what stage. Like I'll give them the flyer, but they'll be wanting more of an explanation on what orgonite is. And it's just like, if I have to, I saw a quote somewhere where it says like, if you have to explain to a certain extent, then they'll never understand, you know. If an explanation is even necessary, that's a huge layer of themselves saying, "Hey, this is my journey, um, you know, and I don't need this piece of information on that journey." And that's been hitting me, and that brings me back into the self, because we have this a part of ourselves where we can make the decisions that we see in this effects, in the area of the effects. Like we have that power to tap into it, but it's deeper. Just like how John said in that video that we did, he said that you have to go deeper, and then you have to go even deeper than that. Then once you move from that deeper space, that's when the effects change. And then when you can just stabilize that, that's when the plane of effects change. It's just like at your will, you know.
And one of the things I was telling him about this lady, little grandmother, she had asked everybody to send her crystals and program them. And then they went to Japan and Fukushima, and she just reached in the bag and just grabbed a crystal. Nobody's in particular, right? And they put it in the water and was able to disperse the radiation. It like nullified it. And they were able to measure that. And it's like, you know, that's pretty interesting. It's like, so why do we still have the radiation problem? Well, why did it happen in the first place, right? It was it was made to instill the fear in people. One of the things, you know, they created it. Is it? Do people want to hear that? No. But you know, I take my crystals and little ones and or whatever it is, I program them, and the people I'm around, I have them program love. You know, and she said it goes in the water. Well, the water goes up in the sky. It goes up, you know, everywhere in the world. It goes all around, and the programming of the water. And it's like I do that as much as I can. Any programming, and it's like because it works. You know.
Heck yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, and any ripple touched affects the whole pool of it all. Like how you know that program water is going to go up through that cycle of the environment, and then it'll come right back down. But thinking about the Fukushima, it seems, yeah, of course they meant to. It was meant, you know, to go down the way it is and still have that anchor still going on. But they're doing the opposite of what you did with, or what that woman did with the crystal, putting it in there and then sending the
Love.
the cleansing of the radiation. It's like they did different things so that the radiation is being output. And it's like sort of a battle away. If once you put the crystal in there, it's like doing the opposite effect. But yeah, they're doing that
Then it has to
from the other side of it.
right. It has to balance
To
out.
neutralize.
I thought it was amazing. Just a little thing like that, can have such a positive effect. And why don't we know about it? Why was it on primetime news so everybody could do that?
Exactly.
You can imagine? So I tell everybody I can.
Yes, you can, and that's the thing. It's like we can already be doing it, and we're getting there. I'm seeing massive change, and when it's already done, we just pretty much we have that celebrative moment, and I'm already at that point of celebration right now. At that point of
I do got a quote though. I'm sorry, guys.
okay,
I
Oh,
gotta
good
go
to see you, Scott.
yeah, man,
see you.
Have a good rest of the night.
Okay, thanks.
peace.
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 Love.
But yeah, it's kind of good that it's not that different things like that are not on prime time news, because it goes back into you don't want to go into that deep explanation of the orgonite,
So,
because it's within the person's experience, and if they have that firsthand, the first bits of it from watching some mainstream, it took a little bit away from their journey of actually experiencing it, because they're going to learn more going away from where you're supposed to go and going down the rabbit holes and finding their own way rather than somebody else shedding some sort of light on it, because it is all false light if it's not coming from you.
yeah, and that's yeah. Printing out the information sheets and passing them out is great, but if there isn't clear communication on, I wish it could be a clear communication instead of me having to go like, oh, you know what I mean? Oh, this is what this journey is about, and that's the beauty of it, really. I personally feel like one of my main joys in life is seeing where other people's journeys are, and like the what, why, how process that they're in, and it's extremely nourishing because there isn't just one way to do it. They could do it purely from intention. They could do it purely from prayer, and I believe that. So, if it isn't the way that I'm doing it that they do, hey, I've had times where I've exposed someone to information and they applied it immediately, and it kind of creeped me out, because it feels like I have to give them all my resources where I got the information from, so that they can further the study, further the awareness. And it's just kind of like the administrative process, really. Like that's one of the things that I feel that's very, very personal,
Like how no one can do it for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. No one can do it for you because you know the most about whatever case is going on. And yeah, it's like it's all personal. That's why Rod Class's work is pretty intense, man. Because it's not an easy way out. It's like we got to fix the whole big problem, So we're gonna go at it by exposing it all.
Yeah.
And here's your way that you can claim for your part of it and bring a case out so that other people can quote it, or just changing laws. What they're doing, laws are getting changed because through that administrative process and torts that they're filing, they're questioning the language that's being used, the word spells that's being used.
Right. And the and then providing the regenerative aspect of it too, so that it's just not all like, hey, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong, and I win, and then now what is this continue for the next person coming along, or is there a way where we can institute something, we can establish a win-win, a form of a win-win, so that this continues and we never have to do it ever again, you know, or this,
Yeah.
yeah, and the laws can just stay as they are and stand and hold, and whatever, and like there must be something that's corrupting that can be identified, detected, and remedied after that detection. You know, um, ultimately, though, I think with the administrative process, I'm seeing a lot of kids and young ones now that have so much uh, basic moral codes in them, in that way where it just kind of like it strikes me. It strikes me in a way of, oh, so this is where the integrity the integrity bar has been so low for so long. It will eventually this is where it seeped into me. It seeped into me in some stages, and I'm like, oh, just because they're doing it this way and they have been doing it this way, I still remember the real thing. I still remember the real thing, and I operate from there whether I know it or not, whether I like it or not. And it's kind of odd. It's an odd situation going from that this expression of what we have today to from what it always is and it always has been. There's a little bit of a feeling of I have to catch up to get back to back to that pristinity of that cleanliness. You know what I mean? Like that catch up. Like, do you ever have that feeling of like, oh wow, I gotta catch up?
Yeah. Like I still have stuff I got to wring out that I absorbed from before, that I didn't even know.
And
but seeing the kids is like a refreshing look at it from like what it can be, or even more, more pure.
And it's just like, just because it feels like an unattainable purity, it's really not. It's just that's just the best way it is. And then it's just a matter of realizing at first it's going to be a customized way, because you may still be in an area where, all right, like I know for me, I'm still in an area where I get pure, then, just like nature abhors the vacuum, right? So I absorb whatever's in my natural area again, and then I have to wring it out again. Then I absorb what's in my natural area again, because you create that vacuum. You become this clear vessel, and so nature's just like, bloop. This is what's in your natural area. Transmute it again. Bloop. This is what's in your natural area, and then after about, I'm gonna say 2 to 3 years of doing this, that's when I start seeing, okay, things are shifting because I'm part of what I'm doing in this shared reality, and it's a great feeling. It's like a guardian feeling, and that's what these shows are. Releasing it, on the scale that we are in terms of my local reality to your local reality is big. It's really big, and I'm beginning to see into other people's local realities and seeing what would it be like if I was there and I was doing my processes in that local reality, and that's how much power we have, and already doing it, as opposed to focusing on what needs to be done, because we can already be doing it, and we are. That's what I'm realizing. It's just a matter of patience and renaming it to claim it, and over again, repetition with illumination. And that's the thing, that's where I'm at, and it's been showing dividend. It's been showing its reward. The time has been invested, well invested. And so it's just, and then we reach those, you know, I feel like you recently just reached a threshold, and you just recently got out of. I mean, what do you feel coming fresh out of that?
Out of jail.
Yeah.
Yeah, that so it just gave me stuff to work with, things to my different views on things, seeing an inside view of that parasite or the corruption, the thing we got to take the root out.
Yeah.
Just seeing it a different view. It was like a whole. I mean, it's not like I was in like a very high security place or anything, but it's like a whole different world, man. It's slavery still.
Yeah.
People are, it's crazy, the whole setup. But it's a very cool teaching that you were just saying about the renaming it to claim it, because whenever we're focusing, saying what needs to be done, that kind of put another degree of separation between, this is what we're doing, because what needs to be done, what is actually between what needs to be done and what we're doing right now to get there.
Right. Without so much.
There's not really something. Yeah. Like, is there really a separation from that once we decide that it needs to be done? It's like we're on the path already.
Exactly. And we don't have to have rebellion in our heart. We don't have to have bitterness or any of that in our heart. And
yeah,
and that was something that I recently overcame, which empowered me further to have fun and just in stride, raise that inner discipline after I feel like I've reached a certain Christmas, the gift is coming level, but still like doubling down the discipline, because we're creating our own culture at this point.
Yeah.
And each one of us is our own culture.
Yeah, straight up. Really, we're carrying the whole. We are a whole nation walking around, and even in the legal definitions, we're our own nation. What is that?
This is like sage, and I mixed it with my tobacco pouch here.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I was talking about that sage and that tobacco mix, and that is.
So you're smoking sage? White sage?
Yeah.
That's cool. I just started mixing mugwort with tobacco, which is pretty cool. The sage, is it harsh?
So you can just like clear something by blowing at it now, and that and like and the insides is getting it, and it's super super clean. Like there's no harshness at all. It's almost like it's literally like smoking a cloud, or like what you think like a sugary cloud would taste like.
Yeah, I gotta try that.
Yeah, I was talking about like the emotional weight, and knowing how to suspend emotional weight to gain that level of mastery to do the mechanical aspects of what is on that, what is the necessities that need to be done. You know what I mean? Kind of like the elves from Lord of the Rings, like the way they're just so whimsical in the way they just slay the orcs, That's that level of light attention. You're just knocking it out, and then but you're still just chilling. You know what I mean? Like
like doing what needs to be done without the weight, without so much of the weighed down by the emotion behind it. That's how emotion is a very important thing to observe and look at, seeing how much it controls our actions and how much we're given to the emotions. You hear about like entities or the telluric realm, the 2D beings, get in control of us, or we give our consent to it through the emotional body, because that's one way to get into someone's
subconscious.
bubble. Yeah, subconscious. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and we have
Because
to.
those emotions are all we're all taking up on them subconsciously at first, all of them.
And it's our duty to make sure that those holes are plugged, even if it's just a name it to claim it of I feel this and my holes are plugged. And I was talking about clothing and how old clothing or specific colored clothing can create those too, can create subconscious. I literally I went on a walk, and believe it or not, walking like half a mile leads to a clearing effect. A clearing effect begins to happen, especially if it's in nature. And I was walking with this shirt I had on from my sophomore year, and it was a gray shirt. And I was talking about the frequency of gray. I found out is the opposite of the frequency of that lime green, pure green. It's the opposite of that frequency. And so you have the green, which is the regenerative, and you have the green, which is the unhinging. I mean, the gray. The gray is unhinging, the green is regenerative at a vibrational level. And so when you wear these two different colors, it could have a positive or negative effect, but depending on your polarity in that moment, I was in an extreme positive polarity. So I was wearing a gray shirt, and it was really balancing me out. The whole walk, I was just thinking about how I can ground it in the energy into this reality. You know, at the same time, I was kind of crossing a lot of paths with a lot of people like kind of like asking me for money and just asking me basically donations, and I was just giving it out. And it felt like it was the right thing to do, and it was the right thing to do, because we're giving, we're constantly radiating and giving, and that's just what creates this reality around us. And it felt really good at that time, but then at a certain point, I was just like, I gotta take this gray thing off. You know, I'm balanced out now. You know, I'm completely balanced out. Like my green frequency and my gray frequency has found its neutral balance point. And yeah, and then I took the shirt off. I walked around half naked in the middle of the city, and I found this shirt, which is like a new shirt that I got like within last week, and it was just really refreshing to put something on that was newly acquired, that had no experiences tethered to it, just brand new, not from old experiences, just completely brand new. And I found that these old pieces of clothing that we wear can actually have subconscious ruptures in them, quite literally, like this. And what that gray shirt represented was like a homecoming dance that I went to, where I was in my sophomore year really looking for intimacy, really just hormoned out. And that frequency was still in that shirt. And I was just like, what is this? Something is going like this at me, like dealing with my relationship and intimacy status. It was the clothes. I took the thing off, put the new shirt on, and it was just like I needed the gray frequency to unhinge some of the programs so that I could work with the energy as it is and create something new. But after that, it started even going deeper into just unhinging some positive things that I had going for me with different realms. So I was just like, okay, I'm balanced out now. I see the gray and green frequency in me that I need, the regenerative, the abundant, and then the wisdom and the shedding and the release, right?
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's really, really awesome to reflect on. Yeah, the colors are important. Like people who do Santeria, or people from New Orleans that do tarot reading or different psychic things.
Yeah.
Well, if you're going to be one of those, whatever they call them, witch doctors or Santeria people, they wear white all the time. It has to be white. You got to have that white, all covered white, and they'll usually have some sort of white hat too. And I was watching some anime. I don't know if you've heard of some anime called Assassination Classroom. Have you heard of that?
Nah, I'm watching Dragon Ball Z Super right now.
Oh, nice. That's cool. My roommate got a few of those super ones too. I think he's got them. Well, he just got this other anime called Assassination Classroom, and it's about this guy. It's pretty much a machine that's like tentacle. He's yellow and he just has a smiley face. And it turns out he's a machine that was built to destroy the Earth in a year. But he's went ahead and he's teaching these kids how to better themselves. And if they kill him before the year is over, then they save the Earth. Like, so he's pretty much teaching them how to be assassins on how to kill this guy who moves at like Mach 20 speed. He's just not able to be killed or anything. But they have these different like bullets that don't affect humans or any kids.
Yeah.
But they're just for that guy. That only affects that guy. And the people that watch over the school, they wear all white and they have the anti that guy's bullets or whatever, where he can't like touch them.
Right.
It just reminded me when I was thinking about the white clothing, because it is important for all the high up Santeria people. That's what they wear. It's like I'm sure dark ones wear dark. Yeah, it's like an actual armor, and it's the spirit mixing with physical. All these colors are spirit mixing with physical. It's like it's always happening, spirit
Right.
and physical like us. But everyone, because no one sees the same color. Everyone feels these colors pretty much as just a vibration or frequency. So whenever you're looking at it at this mood, you're going to see a different color than if you're looking at it at that frequency. You're going to harmonize with that color at that time differently. Everyone has their own preconceived thoughts about white shirts or black.
Wearing one color is extremely powerful for just psychic defense. But especially colors like white, tan, or one specific color frequency is very, very smart. It's a smart thing. Like when I wear all blue, all navy, that's pretty much, deep work is happening. The deep work is happening at that point, and everybody has those colors that they mesh with. Everybody has like the different, astrology colors too, which yeah. And I actually did a tarot reading for a friend, and it was interesting because it was like a tutorial. I was teaching him how to use the cards, and I used a spread where the choices, so four cards for one choice, 4 cards for another choice, past, present, future, further future for each choice.
Okay.
And we did it for something that we already made a decision on. And, we laid the cards out, and it turned out the decision that we made was better than wasn't better, but it showed both sides of that, of the spectrum. But at the same time, whenever you do those spreads and you look at those cards, you're somewhere in the middle. You're not necessarily all the way in one side or all the way in the other. But if you choose to go all the way in, if you choose to be kind of all the way over there, then you're going to experience those line of events more palpably than if you choose the other side. And so I found myself in the middle. I never like to go, to one side or the other. And it was interesting. So tarot, astrology, numerology, and Kabbalah are all intermeshed, and that they can give us great insight onto where we are in the present moment.
They're all based in multidimensional being.
Yeah, and how the invisible world is interacting with you. And I'm just kind of I was playing this game called Shadow of Mordor, which is like the Lord of the Rings, and you're playing as the person who makes the rings, but he's a spirit living inside of a man. And that really got me hip to how powerful the non-physical was, because it was basically like disclosure. Dragon Ball Z basically has disclosure too. They have like in this Dragon Ball Z Super, they have like a galactic patrol. They have gods of destruction. They have like Egyptian winks, and like all these different deities and different universes, multiversal situation. And there's like 12 universes, but it says like all the universes are in pairs. So universe 6 and universe 7 are meshed, and you have all of these different meshes that are happening. And that was just, it was just an amazing, it was just, I think it's straight up disclosure at that point. You have parallels in each universe, and
the Dragon Triad.
Yeah.
The Dragon Balls.
Yeah,
they're like the Dragon Triad.
Yeah, and the dragon is connected to the planet.
Yeah.
Just like how it's just like in the Dragon's webinar that Andrew released. Dragons are planetary elementals, and in the show they just show the dragon coming out of the planet. This is the Earth dragon. This is the universal dragon, or they have these concepts in there, and it's just like, wow, where are they getting these informations from? And it's just like, wow, more anime can be soft disclosure, especially that show I talked about too, Assassin Classroom.
Yeah, dude, it was really, really good. I only saw a couple episodes so far, but it's a very good anime, man. Yeah, they have a lot of lessons and stuff too, and the whole concept is really good. And he's telling him, you're never gonna beat him if you're trying to fight him. Like, that's what he kept saying in the first episode that I just watched.
Wow.
Like, and all these different hints and things like that. It's really good. We're looking forward to watching all of it.
Yeah, I'm gonna probably check into it too, man. Yeah, so like other than that, it's just been like I've just been seeing all these disclosure points, and it's really been a confirmation of me furthering what I've been doing, and that it has been a positive for me that I've been taking the time to look at these pieces and bits of information. It hasn't been like some type of non-learn. There isn't learning and non-learning. It's all ready for you to properly integrate, and it's been crazy in a little way, because it just feels like I can't see a division between play and work anymore.
That's really, really good.
It's all progression, man.
Yeah.
How's the music? Oh wait, go ahead. Say what you're.
I was just saying, are we ever not learning?
Yeah. Right. I know. How's the music going?
What do you mean?
Like just in general, like I've seen you posting a lot of freestyles and stuff.
Oh yeah, my brother's been working. He got a new job, so he's been working more. So we haven't freestyled in a while, but we both really enjoy it.
Yeah.
I'll see if he's up when I get home. See, I'll probably freestyle. It's just really fun, man. It's a great release, great way to hear yourself.
Yeah.
It's like kind of like talking to yourself, or hearing what you're saying. A part of you is saying.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah, I mean, we both have the SoundClouds up, and it's been pretty cool. I've been seeing everybody has a SoundCloud now. It's really like you can pretty much, anyone our age or anyone that we find ourselves speaking to, we could just be like, hey man, what's your SoundCloud? And they can be linked to all my work, and it just feels like I'll see them follow me back, and I'm so used to like bots and like AI and just like promoters following me on SoundCloud. I don't realize there was an actual person that I met, and I'll see their followers, and they'll have like, whoa, they have like upwards of 200, 300 followers, and I'll be like, whoa, I just started my page last month in May, and it's pretty interesting, when you meet real people, and you have your music set up, and you never know when, like, you're really manifesting at this level. They're showing you like this is the level that you're manifesting at, like. You're at their level, and this is what it looks like when you go further into that.
Yeah, it's really cool.
And I've just been seeing like opportunities. Like, have you ever had that opportunity that of, like a social interaction, of a connective opportunity, and it's pretty amazing. You know, you have that, you find yourself around that, and you're just one word or one conversation away from just going to that next level, and it is conversation based. You know, how we succeed and how we perceive ourselves.
Yeah, it's like the synchronicities. You know, you see it through the web too. Some people get drawn, or you get drawn to them because of that spiritual level. You know, spiritual contracts, or you know, energy attracting energy.
Yeah, and that's and it's interesting because we're both kind of at that level where we'll clear ourselves out, and then the local reality will just come flooding in, and we'll clear it again, and then the vacuum starts coming again, to the point where it's just like, after a while, it'll just be you and the way it's always been, and it'll just be you in that, you know, that foundational level, you know, minus the fluff that you've been attracting and letting out again, because that stuff is finite, and so it comes to a point where you'll be allowed to skip all the BS that may come into that infinite layer. Yeah.
Yeah, without the unnecessary, like the emotional weight.
Emotional.
Yeah.
Great to have you back, bro. Like, it's just been show after show. I've been just using this platform to just release more videos, and it's just been a journey, man. Like, just realizing that we could just go at it at any moment at this scale is just, it's something that, you know, it's just amazing. It's all available. It's all available. With this,
Yeah, for free.
For free, right? Yeah. And I've been doing the. Have you been doing the meta teachings?
No, I don't.
Yeah.
I don't have the membership.
Oh, do you have the book though, right? You have the booklet.
Oh, no, I actually, it was stolen out of my car in San Francisco, Oakland. It was in Oakland. Someone broke into mine and my girlfriend's car and took my laptop, backpack, guitar, like all this stuff. My booklet was in my backpack. I haven't. I'm sure I can get a hold of. I have like the heart meditation through the email.
Yeah.
I haven't been doing them as much. I wrote a couple of mine that I've been reading, more of revocations.
Yeah, I can send you.
Yeah, man. If you could email me.
If you want the galactic and the well, sanctuary. I think you put the sanctuary souls out already. So you just need the groves, galactic, universal.
Yeah.
Advanced Dream World. I'll definitely send you those.
I want to read the Advanced Dream World.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, man. When would you want them? When would you want them by?
Oh, just whenever you have the time to send it by email.
Okay. Okay. Cool. I'm gonna I probably just retype them and then transcribe them, or I can send you my audio. I can just send you my audios that I have of them.
Yeah, that's cool.
And that's fine.
And
okay.
I could write it down, so that way I can write it down in my words, or handwriting. I mean.
Yeah. I'm gonna send that to you right now.
Nice.
Cool, man. Yeah. All right. So, is there anything else you want to close with? It's almost 10, it's just hitting 10 here. I guess it's just 7 there.
9. I'm only 1 hour behind you.
Oh, okay. Cool. Is there anything you want to close with?
Just yeah. So I've been going through the process of understanding the importance of letting go. You know, that's what I had been doing for past months now.
Yeah.
But now I'm seeing, you know, getting that as a constant thing that is always in the background, that everything is let go. So now I'm getting something else in my focus coming. I'm not sure what exactly. Something to where
Just got that. Just got that stream to it, huh?
yeah. Like I'm pretty much letting go of any. I'm trying to let go of any preconceived thoughts, especially about, you know, any person you see, and focusing on what's coming up in the subconscious. And then anything that comes up is just a point leading within. And I could question these different things of why I feel these subconscious triggers.
Yeah.
And go to the source.
What what's your email that you want me to send it to?
The healinginnotime@gmail.com.
What I've been doing with the meta teachings is like, so I'll do all the journey ones. So like from the heart to the sanctuary of all souls, and then I'll do galactic central sun with each one on a singular level. And then I'll actually do like one a day. Just keep it simple. I'll do like a galactic central sun, heart, galactic central sun, grove, galactic central sun, grove of the matriarchs, galactic central sun, sanctuary of all souls, just the regeneration chamber. And then galactic central sun, just the afternoon part and the in the garden. And then galactic central sun, the prayer grounds. And then when I'm done with that process, I'll do the universal central sun like that. And because that it's like the journey is there, the visualization becomes more real. Then it just has the scale to it.
Yeah, and in your like what it says in the actual meta teaching, you know, you're going to bring as much of the galactic central sun power that you can, or the universal central sun power, to every aspect of your life that you can, and mixing them with the other, you know, like the grove of the patriarchs, grove of the matriarchs. You're getting all those benefits, and you're doing that through that scale of the galactic central sun, universal central sun. They're just, you know, great freaking teachings. They're genius meditations, you know. There's so many, and you realize more and more, because they are layered. You realize more and more how, you know, genius they are. I really appreciate them.
Just like I'm inloading all of my dreams into my DNA and cellular memory when I wake up. You know, that's a mantra. Like, you just wake up and that's the first thing you say. And that's the first thing that will kind of manifest right there.
Yeah, and you can feel the power of those words rather than compared to the power of, I need to, you know, download all of my dreams into my DNA, or all of my experiences in the dream world into my DNA. I need to do this. you're you know, with those, the way it's written, you're claiming it right now, which is the only moment, the ever present now.
Yeah.
That's when you're saying you need to do that. That's when it's going to happen. So get the need to out of the way, because it's happening now. Everything's a process.
Right.
You're already in it. And these words are powerful. Every mutter that comes out of our mouth, everything we utter,
right,
that comes out. Yeah, and I've also noticed the tone of my voice, depending on my mood. I honestly need to do different things for myself just to have fun. Because
Yeah.
I'm having a lot less fun than I did before.
Yeah, I noticed that. I noticed that for me, specifically as well, simultaneously. Like, it's just been too much, not enough relaxation and not enough like,
Yeah, too serious.
yeah, yeah, and and then just getting back into it if I want to, as opposed to, um, and then just letting those programs come, but still observing them, starting some serious processes, and then observing how I go through that is key.
Yeah, it's way different than just starting the serious process, without the observation.
Yes. Yeah. Well, cool, man. So next week or next time we speak, wow. Every time we do these shows, it's always a fresh frequency. It's always something completely new, and I'm just in a state of absolute gratitude. That's what I've been realizing. Just
Hmm.
gratitude and stability, transparency, collaboration, and forgiveness. Transparency, collaboration, and for clarity. And that's how
These are all,
yeah.
I was just saying, they're all aspects of true love. you know, they're all aspects of love. That's what it reminded me of, each of those words. That's what came to mind. Because pure love would be transparent, not just I love you, but this or that, with hidden motives. You know,
Yeah.
every word you're saying, it's that powerful because it's backed by your true self and your love.
Yes. It's backed by that inner child
Mhm.
tenderness.
And there's something, I don't know if you know Astarius Miraculi on YouTube, but there's something he said in one of his videos, um, that the adult is the offspring of the inner child.
In what ways? Like, in what ways do you think that he meant it in that moment?
So he was saying that the inner child is the one who's in charge, and he's the
Right.
one who you are, the real self. That's the one. Whenever you're giving yourself love, that's who you are. The adult is the offspring. The adult is the offspring of the inner child, meaning it's like the baby of it. Like the inner child grew this up above him, that we call the adult.
And so, like in
When
Dragon Ball Z Super, right? Basically the highest universe being in each universe is this being called Zeno-sama, and he has a baby voice. And basically, they're doing a tournament and to compete against each other, and whichever universe loses the fight gets erased. Could get erased, not for sure, but could get erased by this little inner child being, this little baby called Zeno-sama. Yeah.
it's soft disclosure, man.
You can watch all of them online if you have Wi-Fi. They're releasing brand new episodes.
Yeah, I heard. It's pretty cool. It's back to the original creators instead of the GT. I honestly haven't really seen any of the GT. Not too much of it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I
I
haven't
think it's
actually
something.
watched GT too much. Huh?
Dragon Ball Super is different than all that because they go back into like original Dragon Ball Z material. Like they go
Yeah.
back to like the very first Dragon Ball stuff, and they bring it in, and then like they'll be like, I noticed like the GT and even the Cell and the Blue Saga, they won't revert back to certain areas. Like forget. But in Dragon Ball Super, they'll go in with like all the old weaklings of like old enemies, and they'll implement them into the show, and it's really like, I guess you could say it's I don't think, I think the original creator of Dragon Ball Z died, but
Really?
yeah, but whoever, yeah, I think I'm not sure.
Oh, okay, yeah. It's just the same group
It might
has
be
it again.
has to be more than him.
Because
More
whenever GT was made, it was made by some other group, and they just totally took the idea, and it wasn't the original group that was writing and making them.
yeah, Super is. I don't even think Super remembers too much of GT, but Super
Mhm.
is amazing. I mean, it fills out the rest of the Trunks saga. It it goes into depth, and it honors the series enough for it to be darn good, man. And then obviously you just feel that higher awareness by the creators of it, that just go in and they just also implement like some natural law stuff and basic law stuff and the inner child stuff and the subconscious healing stuff, with just the characters, the new characters that they're introducing and the old characters that they're keeping around. It's like they're purposefully giving it extra roots, giving it extra. Look at how far we've come, you know, through all the transformations, and just, you know, like Krillin will be like, "Hey Goku, can you punch me now at your strength level?" You know what I mean? Like they have like, and like if you know Krillin, he's just like this, one of the very first people in the show that he met, and he never got stronger after a certain point. You know, when the enemies started getting stronger and stronger, and they had to save the world again and again, he was just never there. And so now they're giving him a chance again to show up, and it's like it is the universal expression of like everybody's in on it, and everybody, no matter where they're at, they're good enough, and we want to see them at their fullest. And that's what they did in that show, and that's why I like it. It's the exact thing that everyone's thinking, you know. It's like a forum, if a master of a forum writer created their favorite thing that the forum was about and actually made it happen. That's what I love about it.
Yeah, that's awesome. I heard Krillin wanted Goku to punch him in the face,
Yeah,
like to see how hard, and then he punched him, and then Krillin like gave up fighting or something after that.
yeah, something like that. But he's still one of the strongest people on the planet, right? He's still one of the strongest people. He can still fly, you know.
Yeah.
In a world, even though he becomes a police officer in there, and they start like implementing like jobs, and like how like Goku's wife was trying to force him to like be a farmer, even after he made a whole bunch of money, and there's still Hercule and like the Satan, and that
Oh yeah.
yeah, he's just ruling the world now, has more money than ever, taking credit for defeating all these people, and like they're really showing like. I was recently Prodigy from Mobb Deep died, and
Yeah.
I was looking at one of his Breakfast Club interviews, and he was talking about the most recent project that he released was called Einstein, and he brought up the way Einstein was working at a patent office 10 years before he really just started getting going on stuff, and he was his position was to tell people if somebody's idea had already been taken, which makes it so he sees all the ideas, and he could easily just be like, this idea is taken, and then he could just go around and sell the patents, or like buy the patents, or you know what I mean?
Yeah, like it was taken right now by me.
Yeah. So you have these concepts here that it's just interesting, like how you find different relations to different topics, because I mean I wanted to speak on that, but it was just like it's just interesting, like how I basically just related Hercule or Satan from, they call him Satan in in Dragon Ball Z, this fake fighter basically stealing and taking credit and still making a whole bunch of money. And that's like one of the 48 laws of power and all this, like all these crazy, like all these like pretty much radical, in my opinion, how to be in the Matrix manuals, books. And it's just crazy how Dragon Ball Z has that shit too. Like it talks about like the woo, but it basically sums up all the stuff that's happening on like the business and work level as well. And you know, they have like Bulma, Vegeta's wife, is like the scientist, and like she has Capsule Corporation, and you know, she's doing all these crazy experiments, and she's like in cahoots. She has a very and there's like gods of destruction, right? And spirit guides now in Dragon Ball Z Super, and she's like in cahoots with the spirit guides, and she'll just be chilling. And so it's like kind of like that elite class, and like the people that have the billions, like the Elon Musks, you know what I mean? Like they probably have some crazy spirit guides, crazy spirit people, non-physical people around them, you know what I mean?
Who?
Like Elon Musk, like people doing like SpaceX and different like, you know, different like billionaires venturing out into space. Like it's like Dragon Ball Z kind of like is this like pretty much doing disclosure on that as well. I think I have a very strong hunch that like Dragon Ball Z is inspired by like some type of off-world or galactic ascension machine source. No question about it. No question about it.
Yeah, I think you're right. Like somebody channeling, or somebody's influenced by it, by some being.
Yeah, you know, I can only speculate on that much, but I know that there's a connection there, because the way they're discussing the topics, like they accurately discuss how meaningless the money system is, with the guy stealing all the credit, and how there's other shit happening that's way more important, that's way more relevant. There's other stuff happening that's just way more relevant right now than this money stuff. And that's and the way they depict it is in a way where it's like, oh, wouldn't there be more? You think like, oh, wouldn't there be more businessmen? Oh, wouldn't there be more blah blah blah? But for the most part, they're just pretty much on point and saying like, okay, we got to save the world right now, or we got to save this universe, or we got to do this process right now. You know, we got to focus on our energy, and they're focusing on energy like crazy, like more like the control, the subtle control of the energy, and like they're focusing on these aspects heavily. You know, not doing these overly crazy transformations, and just everything that they're discussing in there is absolutely just amazing. I mean, you can just correspond it right back to what's going on around us. But yeah, man. Other than that, yeah, I'm pretty tired. I'm pretty ready to either play some more Shadow of Mordor or just knock out.
Yeah.
And then,
yeah, man. Enjoy.
Yeah, and
good to talk to you.
Yeah, and look on your email. I sent it already.
Okay.
Just if you have any questions about like the recording, some of the ways I repeat certain things, yeah, just let me know, and I might have to revisit because I have so many versions that I recorded. So I may have sent. There's like a 14-hour version of the Galactic Central Sun meditation that I did. So it's like, if you get that version, let me know, because I have a shorter version.
You said 14 hours?
Yeah. Yeah.
Was it recorded all at once?
No, I mean there's just some parts where I just saved a long ass recording basically, where some of it is nothing, some of it is just like airtime.
That's a long time though.
Yeah, and it's like a lot of. I wrote a revocation in 2015 with my friend Brian, that I should have on for a show. He just walked through Brazil on foot with like one of his friends, and I think he's just living there actually, and
That's
you know,
awesome.
yeah. So it's like he is really one of the is one of the longest revocations, invocations I've ever written, co-written. Um, but yeah, I mean, so that's there too if you want to listen to that. And I'm probably going to release a version of it so that it's always up that he can refer back to as well, because that was just a super powerful one. I talked about it on Andrew's show when I was interviewed on there. And I mean, not interviewed. When I had my reading done on Andrew's on Ventures into Reality, I talked about it where I implemented the 3 galactic central suns that are in our galactic neighborhood. So yeah, man,
Yeah, I want to read that.
cool. It's a recording,
Okay, cool.
but I also have documents, so I can send you a document too.
Yeah,
So that's definitely
I'd appreciate anything that you send.
cool, man. All right, Ryan.
Yeah, man. Good to hear from you. I'll talk to you soon.
Cool.